You obviously have a player like Caitlin
Yeah.
who's on the team. I have to ask, like, when did you first hear about her, and
Yeah.
then what were your first impressions of her when she got to campus?
Yeah, she had come on a couple visits, and she was like a big name in Iowa. So I had heard about her. I wasn't from Iowa, so I didn't know as much. And that like all Iowa Attack like AAU program is like so big, and I had no like I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, whatever. But it's like a big thing in Iowa, and so I had heard about this Caitlin Clark, and I was like watching videos of her just like having like 40 points, like averaging a million in high school. And I was like, oh, this girl thinks she's going to come here and rule the world, like whatever. It's going to be, whatever. And there she did, came in right away and ruled the world. And I was like, all right, here we go.
Here we go. Yeah. I know early you guys, what I remember about that first year, like together is you beat Iowa State.
Yeah.
Like pretty early in the season. I felt like that put it
huge.
On the map in a way.
For sure. Yeah. I would say so. Like, I just remember you have that summer before, and she was doing things that I had never seen anybody do before. And as a freshman to come in and have that kind of confidence, like not everybody has that. Like I was like, oh, I haven't really seen anything like this. And so we knew she was going to be outstanding. And then, at the beginning of the year, we had some big wins, and there was highs and lows that year for sure. But, it took us a little bit to figure it out. But it obviously turned out better than I could have ever expected or thought.
Well, real quick, what did you notice about Caitlin's like work ethic? Was there anything that stood out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was in the gym constantly. Yeah. And it was like the way she approached everything too was like, it was like with a sort of excellence. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to go through the motions and like whatever. It was like, no, like I'm here to kick your butt in every single drill, every single practice, like. And especially whenever our like gray squad guys were playing against us, it was like, if you're across from me, you're my enemy, Right. And like, I think that's just kind of how you have to approach things to get better. And she had that, next level mindset, and it really just raised us all up with her.
Yeah, I feel like looking back on it, and then even just talking to you now, it's like, yes, Caitlin is like a big focal point of the team. Yeah. She's going to have to do a lot of the scoring, all the things. And it's almost like good cop, bad cop or something.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean it in like
no,
literal terms, but she just had to like be herself, and that was going to win you games. But then you had to come in and kind of be like a calming effect and that. So I'm actually really curious, as these teams start to take shape in 2023 and then 2024, like what was your leadership style in conjunction with a player like Caitlin, but also the rest of your teammates?
Yeah, I would say like definitely those first 2 years, we definitely were working together to like, I was definitely more of like the calmer presence and being like, hey, like look me in the eyes, deep breath, like it's all going to be okay. And I think like the leadership style that I really had was just like trust. Like she trusted me because she had seen me like putting in the work in the gym. She knew how much I cared. Like I was only 2 years older than her, but like she believed that like I had her best interest in mind. And like I showed her that over and over again. Like I built a relationship with her outside of basketball. I tried to build relationships with all my teammates outside of basketball. So it wasn't like the only time I'm talking to you is out on the court and telling you like, hey, like you can't do that, or like, hey, like do that, whatever is like.
It's called relationship equity.
Exactly. And so it's like, I'm not, I wouldn't listen to somebody trying to tell me what to do if they don't care about me as a person, So
I always say it's like you build that trust, you build that relationship equity so you can yell at them.
Yes, exactly.
So you can tell them hard things.
Yeah. And so then like it became a thing where it's like if we needed to get across to Caitlin, like it was like Kate, like that was like my job at times. And then like her junior and sophomore year, like she had done so much like work on herself and like how to be like a great teammate and all of us together that like I didn't need to like, I don't know, like do all of that. Yeah, manage that as much as like I had in the past. But I felt grateful that, she trusted me enough and like I trusted her enough too, to where like it was a working relationship. And so then, I just kind of did that with all of my teammates. And I felt grateful that like I was the person who could speak up. And
it's also great when you're like rewarded, right? And you guys were rewarded in multiple ways, but one of them was getting to the Final Four.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you get there in 2023. Real quick, if you had to pick like kind of like a favorite highlight? Like getting to the Final Four?
Yeah.
Is it beating South Carolina and breaking their streak? Is it, getting to the final game? Like what would have been the moment?
I would say beating South Carolina.
Yeah, no, fair.
Was like
that was incredible.
That was like the best moment ever because like we like all believed that we could make it to a Final Four, and so we were just like, all right, we made it to a Final Four. Like, let's go. This is great. We didn't think we were gonna really make it to the national championship. Like the undefeated South Carolina. They're like Twin Towers down there. Like just a very long, athletic, good team, and so. When we like executed that game plan perfectly and beat them, that was probably that's like still probably my career highlight.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right. So you did take your COVID year, which is why you ended up staying 6 years. That was a no-brainer. Was there ever even a question?
There were questions. Yeah. I didn't think I wanted to stay just because there was people under me who had been working so dang hard to like, move up in the ranks and take that spot. And I felt a little bad. And then Monica Sonano was my best friend and she wasn't going to be there. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it without her. Like we had been together for 5 years and I was like, we had been roommates for 4. So I really didn't want to do it without her. And then NIL. And I was like, I can leave here with 20 grand in my pocket. And I was like, I'm doing it, Dad.
20 grand in Iowa City?
Hey,
that's like 100 grand.
Exactly. So I was like, and it's just funny. I say that story not to like brag, but because like of the numbers nowadays, they're like ridiculous. So I'm just like, it's kind of funny. It seems like that's child's play. But yeah, and then whenever I really thought about it, I could finish my master's and, go on another Final Four run. So then, I was like.
And you did. Yeah. You went on another Final Four run.
Did.
I feel like your 2 Iowa teams left a mark on women's college basketball, but also women's basketball at large. Is that like kind of crazy to think about? Like you were a part of something that was a catalyst for this like larger growth. Yeah. That has to feel incredible.
Yeah, it is. It like doesn't really hit me until like,
People say it
and like bring it up because you don't really think about it when you're in it. You're just doing it, right? You're just like having fun with it. You're just hanging out with your friends. But yeah, whenever like I think back on it or people bring it up to me, I'm like, yeah, that is kind of crazy that we played in front of 55,000 people, or like we had
18 million viewers.
Yeah, we had the most viewed, college game, WNBA, NBA game. It's just like, wow, that. I've been a part of some really, really cool times.
Yeah. Is that when Money Martin got born?
I don't even know. I have no idea.
Because I read somewhere you're also called the Glue.
Yeah.
You're a woman of many nicknames. You have a favorite? Like, where did these originate?
No favorites.
No favorite? Do you like Money Martin?
Sure, yeah.
I feel like the people like it.
The people
so you got to
like
go with the people.
Yeah.
All right. I do have to ask this one other question. Does it sting that you lost in 2 championship games?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, have you let go of that at all?
Yeah. I've let go of it. It's like the second one hurt way worse because we knew we didn't get another opportunity. Like that was it. Like we kind of blew our chances. But I was just so proud. Like there was so much bigger things happening. Like, being a catalyst of,
that year was crazy. Yeah,
everything.
Everybody was following you.
Yeah. So like there was so many bigger things that were happening that it's like whenever you can like, whenever I look back on it, I'm like, okay, I can sleep at night and, go out with a peace of mind because I know that, it's not just about winning and losing. And really, like, we changed a lot. So just to be a part of that is something super special.